Lawyer Michael Avenatti on Friday sought to undermine the credibility of porn star Stormy Daniels, the U.S. government's star witness against him at his fraud trial, by challenging her belief in paranormal activity. Representing himself at his trial, Avenatti attempted Friday to undercut the government's claim that he had embezzled nearly $300,000 from Daniels' book deal. She was his client in lawsuits against former President Donald Trump. Avenatti has pleaded not guilty to fraud and identity theft and has portrayed his dispute with Daniels as a disagreement over legal fees. If convicted, he could face 22 years in prison. Under cross-examination, Avenatti grilled Daniels on her beliefs in paranormal activity. Daniels said she considers herself a medium who communicates with spirits. On Thursday, Daniels testified that Avenatti stole from her and lied to her. Avenatti rose to fame in 2018 when Daniels hired him to help her get out of a non-disclosure agreement with Trump. Daniels is known for receiving $130,000 in hush money from Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen to keep quiet before the 2016 election about sexual encounters she said she had with Trump. The former president has denied having sex with Daniels.
You can see
the gas was rushing out.
You see it coming out on the other side of the concrete there, this side, up by the crane. And were you worried that there had been an explosion or that there had been
We weren't
collapse?
sure whether the gas had caused this or whether the leak was, a result of the bridge collapse. So we just weren't sure at that time.
How long did it take to get the company to shut off the gas?
Probably about a half hour.
Half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was just continuing outside of the.
So there's obviously there's another line right here
On
as
this
well.
side as well, yeah.
So that was rushing out. So.
And it's probably too early for joggers to be down there.
There was a few joggers, actually. There was a few. One of them actually helped us get some people out of the cars there. So.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
It's a miracle, Mr. President. It's a miracle.
It really is.
It's gonna happen.
It really is. It's astounding.
Wall Street ended a tumultuous week Friday, rebounding sharply from a morning sell-off in a volatile session. Tech stocks were the standout in a broad rally led by Apple. The Dow added over 500 points, gaining nearly 1.7%. The S&P 500 shot up nearly 2.5%, and the Nasdaq catapulted over 3%. The major indexes gained on the week, and the S&P snapped its 3-week losing streak. Investors looked past data Friday showing consumer spending falling in December as inflation climbed at its fastest pace in 4 decades. But Gerber Kawasaki CEO Ross Gerber is not worried about inflation or the Omicron variant.
We see both of those trends now reversing as Omicron is now fading in the United States, and we're going to see costs start to come down and people get back to jobs and work and back to the offices again. So we're very bullish on the spring.
Springing higher, Apple up 7%, one day after the company posted record sales of iPhones in the holiday quarter. Visa charged up nearly 11%. It was the top gainer on the Dow and S&P. Higher spending on international travel and commerce helped push earnings past Wall Street's targets.
Were you worried that there had been an explosion or that there had been
We weren't
collapse?
sure whether the gas had caused this or what.
Just hours before President Joe Biden was scheduled to tout infrastructure funding in Pittsburgh, a bridge in Pittsburgh collapsed, a fitting backdrop for a trip about America's crumbling roads and bridges. Biden made an unannounced stop to the site of the collapse ahead of his speech Friday.
There was a few joggers, actually. There was a few. One of them actually helped us get some people out of the cars there. So.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
It's a miracle, Mr. President. It's a miracle.
It really is.
10 people suffered minor injuries, and officials said a massive gas leak caused by the collapse forced the evacuation of several families from their homes. Biden praised the work of rescuers, some of whom rappelled at least 150 feet into the ravine to help pull people to safety. Then, during his speech in the city, Biden underscored the urgency to rebuild the country's creaky infrastructure.
All these years, I never knew Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, had more bridges than any other city in the world. But across the country, there are 45,000 bridges in poor condition. It's just simply unacceptable.
Biden's $1 trillion infrastructure spending package, the largest such investment in decades, is already providing billions of dollars for upgrades to bridges, roads, and transit.
This is the first time in the country's history that we dedicated a national program to repair and upgrade bridges. It's about time.
Friday's bridge collapse came just 2 weeks after Pennsylvania got $327 million for bridge repair as part of the administration's new infrastructure law. Giving a nod to Pittsburgh's many bridges, Biden on Friday said, "We're going to fix them all."
The Russian Federation has amassed upwards at this time of over 100,000 ground forces, air forces, naval forces, special forces, cyber, electronic warfare, command and control, logistics, engineers, and other capabilities along the Ukraine border. All of it packaged together. If that was unleashed on Ukraine, it would be significant, very significant, and it would result in a significant amount of casualties. And you can imagine what that might look like in dense urban areas, along roads and so on and so forth. It would be horrific. It would be terrible. The President and the Secretary of Defense have authorized the United States military to increase our readiness in the event we have to reinforce or assist our NATO allies. War is not inevitable, as the Secretary said. The right answer here is a diplomatic solution. This is larger in scale and scope and the massing of forces than anything we have seen in recent memory, and I think you'd have to go back quite a while into the Cold War days to see something of this magnitude. They do annual exercises, and we watch those closely, but this is different. So we'll continue to monitor it very, very closely. But yes, it does feel different.